So the secondary function of money is store of value, that is storing the money, right? And as a value, right? And the other one is standard of deferred payment. So you all have made note of this. Please jot down this flow chart. This is very helpful. Now we shall look at the functions of money individually, one by one. Okay. So the first function, as we saw in the flow chart, is medium of exchange, right? So under medium of exchange, so the only alternative to using money is to go back to the barter system. So I've explained this barter system in my earlier class, right? So there's only one alternative to money, that is to go back to barter system. But the barter system has got its own disadvantages. We shall look at it. However, a system of exchange, the barter system, would be highly impractical today. However, as a system of exchange, the barter system would be highly impractical. So we have seen the disadvantages of barter system in our earlier class, right? Please mute wherever there is a disturbance. Okay, so we have seen the alternative to money is barter system in our earlier class, and we've also seen how what are the disadvantages of barter system and why we have moved to barter system. So, for example, if the baker who supplied the greengrocer with bread had to take payment in onions and carrots, he may either not like these foodstuffs or he may have sufficient stock of them. So, okay, the baker would therefore have to resell the product, which would take time and be very inconvenient. By replacing these complicated sales by the use of money, it is possible to save a lot of trouble. If the baker accepts payment in money, this can be spent in whatever way the baker wishes. The use of money as a medium of exchange overcomes the drawbacks of barter system. So, what do you understand by this para? So this para is giving you example how, but I mean the money is more better than barter system. So in this example, it here they're giving us the example of a baker, right? A baker who has to make some purchase for making a bread, right? Raw materials for making a bread. So what if, sorry, who supplied? Okay, baker is supplying the bread. So what if in return to bread he is getting onion and carrot as payment? Just imagine that, onion and carrot as a payment for bread what he is selling. How difficult it would be. What would he do with so many onions and carrots? He'll again have to sell those, and it would be a big trouble, right, for the baker, for the seller. So, in order to overcome all those problems, all those difficulties, it is always better that we go for money as a medium of exchange, right? And the money which is earned by selling the bread can be used anywhere he or she likes, right? Thus, money provides the most sufficient means of satisfying wants. Each consumer has a different set of wants. Money enables him or her to decide which wants to satisfy, rank the wants in order of urgency and capacity, and act accordingly. So, every one of us have different wants, right? The wants which I have may not be similar like that of yours, right? So, everyone is having their different priorities, their different wants. Money is actually a better way of transaction, because with money enables to decide which wants to satisfy. So it is enabling an individual to decide which wants he or she wants to satisfy. Like they can, prioritize their wants, right? And accordingly spend their money, right? So this type of system also enables a specialization to extent. So this is also promotes specialization. uh, we shall take another example here. A person who performs only a single task in a shoe factory, he has not actually produced anything himself. So we he could he exchange if a barter system were in operation? With money system, the problem is removed. He can be paid in terms of money and can use that money to buy what he wants, right? So again, a shoemaker, the one who's working in a shoe factory, so that person can be paid in money as a salary, and that salary, the person, the producer, can spend it anywhere he or she wants to, right? According to their necessities. So this is one point. Now the second point, the second function or the role of money as a measure of value. The money as a measure of value. So there is a value to money, right? It is not just a paper. Money is not just a paper or not just a coin. It has got some value, right? Which can be stored and which can be used whenever there is a necessity, right? Under the barter system, it is very difficult to measure the value of goods. So measuring the value of good is very difficult in barter system. So here you need to observe this, that we are comparing this system of money with barter system, because earlier we had this system of barter system and then we moved to money. So we should see, right? We need to compare both these and see which is better, and we need to understand why we have moved from barter system to this money, right? Only if we can see some advantages or some benefits of money over barter system, only then we can say that money system is more better than the barter system, right? This is why we are seeing so many comparisons with barter system when we are studying about money. So under the barter system, it is very difficult to measure the value of goods. For example, a horse may be valued as worth 5 cows or 100 quintal of wheat, or a Maruti car may be equivalent to 10 two-wheeler two-wheelers. Thus, one of the disadvantages of barter system is that any commodity or service has a series of exchange value. So what is the disadvantage of barter system? That any commodity or service has a series of exchange value, right? You can see, like there are series of exchange value, like the cows, we comparing this horse value to cows, number of cows, weight, Maruti car, and all. So money is the measuring rod of everything. Here in money system, it is a measuring rod of everything. So one money is doing everything, right? That complexity of barter system can be reduced with money, right? Because just one thing, money will, money is the measuring rod of everything, right? By acting as a common denominator, it permits everything to be priced, that is valued in terms of money. Everything can be priced, right? Thus, people are enabled to compare different prices and thus see the relative values of different goods and services. So, by knowing the value of everything in terms of money, what we can do is compare different prices of different goods and then find out the value of goods, right? Goods and services. So what purpose does it serve? So this serves two basic purposes. What are those? Households can plan their expenditure. So it becomes easy, right, to spend wherever you want to. You can plan your expenditure, right, where you need to spend. Business people can keep records of income, cost in order to work out their profits and loss. So there's that the two purposes are for household and business people. One is that household can plan well. The second one is that business people can keep a record of their income and cost to find out the profit and loss what they're undergoing. Right? This will help again business people to plan better, to plan their business more better, right? So now the third function is store of value, that is purchasing power. So the earlier one was measure of value, and this is store of value. A major disadvantage of using commodities such as wheat or salt or even animals like horses or cows as money is that after a time they deteriorate and lose economic value. What is a major disadvantage of using commodities as store of value? When you use commodities to store the value, you're storing the value in terms of commodities, say wheat or salt or even animals like horses or cows. What happens? They deteriorate with time, right? ಗೋಧಿ ಈಗಿರೋ ತರನೇ ಸೇ 1 year 1 or 2 years ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಆ ತರನೇ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದು. So it deteriorates, right? The same is the case with cows, horses, though the time gap may be different, right? But in money, this does not happen, right? Money is actually it can, go up also. The value can go up, but right. So money is that as money is that after a time they deteriorate and lose economic value. These commodities are they do deteriorate and lose economic value. So in money, what happens is if you are storing your money in fixed deposits in, right, in a bank, if you're saving, going for savings as fixed deposit, so you are assured of getting back your money with a good interest rates earned on that money, right? So there is no deterioration or there's no economic loss in economic value of money, right? So they are thus not at all satisfactory. Yes, any doubts? No doubts? Okay. They are thus not at all satisfactory as a means of storing wealth. To realize the problem of saving in a barter economy, let us consider a farmer. Okay, so here again we are taking an example of farmer. So we'll be comparing this store of value in money system with barter system. How in barter system we store value and how in money we are storing value and which one is better with this example of farmer. Okay, so here farmer wanted to save some wheat each week for future consumption. So farmer is wanting to save some wheat. ಒಬ್ಬ ರೈತ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗೋಧಿಯನ್ನು ಈಚ್ ವೀಕ್ ಪ್ರತಿ ವಾರ ಸೇವ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ for his future consumption ಅಲ್ವಾ, for his future consumption, but this would be of no use to him in his old age because the savings would have gone off. So this consumption, it is not for long time, right? It does not last for long time. So what happens is, the savings, that is the savings of wheat each week for future consumption will not last till he becomes old, right? The wheat saving will be of no use when he becomes old, right? It will deteriorate and it will lose its economic value. But instead, if he or she has gone for fixed deposit or say, some pension schemes and all, if they have stored their money, right, they would get pension in the old age, right? Again, if a coal miner wanted to set aside a certain amount of coal each week for the same purpose, he would, okay, again, we're taking another example here, that is of coal miner. Okay, so coal miner example. Coal miner wanted to set aside a certain amount of coal each week for the same purpose, again for future consumption. He would have problems of finding enough storage space for all, right? There'll be a problem of storage space. ಜಾಗದ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಕೋಲ್ ಮೈನರ್ ಕೋಲ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನೇನು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್, ಜಾಗದ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಫಾರ್ ಆಲ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಕೋಲ್, right? By using money, such problem can be overcome. So this problem can be overcome by using money. Money does not require more space, right? And people are able to save for future, right? This way people can save for future. Modern form of money such as coins. So what are the modern forms of money? Coins, notes, bank deposits permits people to save their surplus income. So this will permit them to save their surplus income. Thus, money is used as a store of purchasing power. So money is used as a store of purchasing power. It can be held over a period of time and used to finance future payment. Moreover, when people save money, they get the assurance that the money saved will have value when they wish to spend it in future. However, this statement holds only if there is no severe inflation, or there is one condition. Money will be good if there is no inflation or deflation in the country, right? This is one of the problem in money system, inflation and deflation. So as long as inflation and deflation is stable in a country, money is good. But if this is out of control, inflation and deflation in a country, then money holds not much value, right? Again, the this value of money goes down, right? In other words, it is quite obvious that money can only act effectively as a store of value if its own value is stable. So we need stability, right? Stability. There should be stability in inflation and deflation. Inflation and deflation up to a certain level is fine, right? Inflation up to like 2-3% in an economy is good for economy actually. 2 to 3% is like good, considered to be good, fair enough, right? But beyond this is again not good. So we need stability. So if there is stability, only then money will have a value. Otherwise, money will again lose its value. So if, for example, okay, another example. Most people feel that their savings would become worthless very soon. They would spend them at once and save nothing, right? For the last few years, the value or the purchasing power of money has been falling in India. Yet, in short run, for a day-to-day purchases, money has a sufficient stability of value to serve quite well as a store of value. So, when this problem of deflation or inflation starts occurring, what happens? The fear among people starts to build up, and this fear will lead to what? Spending of money at once. They will not store that money because they will have this fear that they may you know uh, lose the worth of their money, right? Okay, so next rule is the basis of credit. So money is again a basis of credit. So you can get loans and all, right? In money system, money facilitates loans, right? Borrowers can use money to obtain goods and services when they are needed most. A newly married couple, for example. Okay, here another example is of newly married couple would need a lot of money to completely furnish a house at once. So they want money to furnish a house at once. They are not required to wait for say 10 years so as to be able to save enough money to buy costly items like cars, refrigerator, TV sets, etc. So they need not wait for 10 years to save their money, and then buy all these things. Instead, they can go for loans, right? Instant loan at one time in the starting. Then after they can slowly repay their loan, right? So this facility is always available with money system. So the next one is a unit of account. Money as a unit of account. Any doubts so far? No? Okay. So we shall look at the next function, that is a unit of account. Money as a unit of account. An attribute of money is that it is used as a unit of account. Yeah, one more thing I want to tell you all here. Please do make a note of it as in how I'm explaining, because you will not be given any notes from our side, right? So please do make a note of all these things as in how I'm explaining. Okay. An attribute of money is that it is used as a unit of account. The implications is that money is used to measure and record financial transactions, as also the value of goods or services produced in a country over time. The money value of goods and services produced in an economy in an accounting year is called gross national product. So these things, you'll learn these things in your next semester, that is third semester, gross national product. What is GNP, GDP, all these things. Under national income they come. You have one entire unit on this GNP, GDP, and all, right? So this you'll learn it in your next semester, GDP. So the money value of goods and services produced in an economy in an accounting year is called GNP, that is gross national product. So here under GNP again, national income. Right now, how do we calculate this national income and all? We go for money value of goods and services. So the value of goods and services is calculated on the basis of money value of it, right? And this is how we calculate the national income of a country. We try to find out the national income of a country on the basis of money value of goods and services. This is very important. So according to this economist, J.R. Hicks is a very popular economist. Uh, he's given many theories and all in macroeconomics. Hicks' gross national product is a collection of goods and services. So he says that GNP is a collection of goods and services reduced to a common. Sorry, this part is not visible. Anyways, being measured in terms of money. Okay, the next value or the next role or the function is a standard of postponed payment. Okay, so everyone is bound wherever money is recognized as a legal currency. Everyone is bound there to accept their payment in terms of money, right? So if you're going to purchasing anything, say bread, yeah, in our earlier example we've seen bread. Okay, so the bread seller or the baker is bound to accept the payment in terms of money. He or she cannot deny that I don't want the payment in terms of money. This is a, like, there is a law on this. So we are bound to accept the payment in terms of money. If he or she denies it, then they can be punished also under this. Right? So, a standard of postponed payment. This is an extension of first function. Here again, money is used as a medium of exchange. So, money is used as a medium of exchange, but this time the payment is spread over a period of time. So, time period, postponed of payment. You are paying money after you making a payment after a long time, right? Thus, when goods are bought on hire purchase, they are given to the buyer upon payment of a deposit, and he then pays the remaining amount in a number of installment. So here you have the option of installment again. So in money system, you've seen how you have credit option, installment option, right? Right? All these things are there. Under the barter system, this type of okay, now again we are comparing it with barter system. So we see what is the disadvantage in barter system. This type of transaction under the barter system, this type of transaction could involve problems, right? Imagine a farmer buying a video recorder and agreeing to pay for it in terms of a fixed amount of wheat each week for a certain number of weeks. After a few weeks, the seller of the video recorder might have more than enough wheat. Yet he will have to receive more wheat in the coming weeks. If money had been used, the seller could then use it to buy whatever he wanted, whether it is wheat or something else. So there is always option. With money, you have option. What do you want to buy? Where do you want to spend money? You can prioritize your needs, right? And use the money accordingly. But in barter system, you don't get this facility. Okay. The seller could then use it to buy whatever he wanted, whether it is wheat or something else, now or in future. If it is now or future time or things, all this relaxation is seen in money system. In other words, the use of money permits postponement of spending from the present to future occasions. In a modern economy, most transactions, buying or selling, are made on the basis of credit. For example, it is possible to purchase consumer durables such as TV sets. So we can go for purchasing of TV or washing machine, or on hire purchase. Houses may be purchased. We can purchase house, right, by means of LIC, HDF or HDFC loans. So we have this loan facility, right? So we can purchase the things now but make payment of it later, right? Through installments and all. So most business dealings permit payment in future for goods delivered now, and employees wait for a month or a week to receive their wages and salaries. Thus, the use of money permits the members of society to defer their spending from present to future date. We therefore see that a money system clearly has advantages over a barter system. So now you must have understood the advantages of money system over barter system, right? Uh, but what is money? Note the first five words in our definition. Okay, so what is money? This is what is asked in your question, right? Anything which is generally acceptable. Money is anything which is generally acceptable. As I just said, you know. Money, the payment in terms of money cannot be denied by anybody. Everybody is legally bound to accept the payment in terms of money. So anything which is generally acceptable, we note that okay, the notes and coins to buy things, but can do so only as long as the shopkeepers, traders are prepared to accept those notes and coins in payment for goods they are selling. So we can use these notes and coins to buy things, but we can do so only as long as these traders and shopkeepers are prepared or ready to accept them, and they are bound to under the system what we are following right now. They are bound to accept. So the definition for money, anything which is generally acceptable. If all sellers decided that they would no longer accept these notes and coins, then these would this would cease to be a money, right? If they decided instead to accept their legs as money, then we would have to use share legs, which we would have to use when buying something. This example, of course, is rather ridiculous. Okay, payment in terms of my leg share legs. This is very ridiculous, but what it points out is that anything can be money as long as it is generally acceptable as such. So money can be anything like coins or papers you have, notes, that is notes, right? So anything can be money that is generally accepted. Anything which is acceptable, right? You accept anything. You can give these days we are also making online payments and all. So that is also money if it is acceptable generally, right? Okay, that's it under this now. Any doubts so far? Okay, any doubts if you have, you can ask me. So that's it in our class for today. So we've seen the role of money. Doubt idre ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು. And then after, I think tomorrow we'll look at supply of money, M1, M2 and all those things. Yes. So we'll quickly have a glance over whatever we've studied today, if there's no doubt. Any doubt? Okay, I'll take the attendance. Till then, if there's any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, we'll just quickly have a glance over whatever we've studied for today. So the role of money we've seen as a medium of exchange. Then the next role is as a measure of value. So anything can be measured in terms of money, right? The goods and services can be measured in terms of money, and then after we can compare them and find out their value, right? As to which is more valuable and which is not. Then we saw money as a store of value, right? Purchasing power. Then we saw the money as a basis of credit, right? Credit, that is loans. Then we saw money as a unit of account, right? Like how in national income, GNP and all, how, how do we calculate? How is it used as a unit of account? Then we saw money as a standard of postponed payment. That is, we can make payment for the goods and services which we are purchasing right now, right? We can make payment of it later, right? That is postponement of payment. Okay, that's it. I think. That is it. Okay then. Thank you.